right, friends, it's T, and I'm back with another video. And guess who it on? Guess who's it on? JasonBlaha Strength and Fitness again, man. Hormonal benefits of increasing carbohydrates. Well, let's review this video. More of the diet slave's advice, I guess, right? The lifting slave.
Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here, and I thought I would sit down and do a coffee chat for you guys. Black coffee in there. That's how I start my morning. All right, let's talk a little bit about carbohydrate and the hormonal benefits, because this is something that doesn't get addressed enough.
Carbohydrate and its hormonal benefits. The benefit of accelerated aging. I don't find that accelerated aging is a benefit, but does it have a benefit in short term if you're trying to get to a particular goal? Everything people are trying to create is success is a very short window. And so you're trying to create something in a very short window. You're either trying to make a lot of money, get rich, popular. I don't know what it is you're trying to do, but success is a very short window, whether it's building real muscle or whatever. But if you're continuously going there forever, pretending you're building muscle forever, that is not success. Or trying to build strength. You're trying to bring up your natural strength, but you never really achieve that because you go away and that strength goes away. You never achieved any natural strength. So what is the point of doing that if it's failure? It's just like trying to make money. When people are trying to make money in the beginning, again, that window of success is short. They have some failures in the beginning, and then they learn from these failures. They don't want to go back to doing the same failure all the time. They want to create something fast and quick now. They want to create something real as quick as possible, even if it is artificial in the artificial world, like money. They want to be successful at doing that as quick as possible, regardless. So yeah, so you could do it naturally, you could do it fakely, definitely. But being sitting there forever trying to build something and not building anything, that's real total failure. Yeah. Like I said, accelerated aging is a failure. This is not something you're looking for.
Everyone wants to talk about hormones. They want to talk about hormones and the effect on fat loss, hormones and the effect on muscle gain, fat gain, all these different things. But they throw these words out, but then they are ignorant regarding the actual hormonal responses. In fact, a lot of the people who, if they really and truly believed in a lot of these hormone hypotheses, they would be pro very high carbohydrate.
Yeah, because hormones don't build muscles. Stem cells do. But I could pop this up, I guess. I don't know if it's going to come up here. No, it's in my community section. I posted it now. Hold on a second. So, anabolic. Carbs are anabolic because they raise the blood sugar level, which in turn stimulates the storage of hormone insulin. But remember, anytime you turn on these things, you turn on the aging process. Insulin gets a bad reputation because it can increase fat storage, but it can also be your friend by helping your muscles suck in more protein. How does it do that? Because it's a sparing effect. It spares the protein to build muscle, but if there's no muscle there to build, if there's no new muscle to build, it will not build any muscle. So what is the point of doing that? What will happen is you'll get these sarcoplasmic muscles. It'll start loading the glycogen in the muscle, and it'll keep absorbing it like crazy, and it won't build you any muscle. It'll build you these artificial muscles, glycogen.
Okay, and there's a few reasons for that. When we start looking at, particularly for muscle growth, but
look, when you're doing muscle damage training, as opposed to this getting good at lifting heavy weight training and sarcoplasmic training, when you're actually doing muscle damage, that could be a very good, how should I put it, catalyst to build muscle using complex carbohydrates. And let's say you're on a high protein diet and you needed something. You could use complex carbohydrates because I've used it in the past. It works. It definitely works. Again, short window success to build myofibrillar growth is not something you want to hang around there forever building, okay? It's not something you want to keep doing because it's uncomfortable to build muscle. To injure muscle is extremely uncomfortable. It comes with a lot of effects, unwanted effects like DOMs. It comes with like disuse of adjacent joints, stiffness, soreness, pain, and so it lasts a whole week. It's not something you want to stay there forever lifting weights year after year trying to chase this like I got to damage muscles, I got to injure muscles to build muscles. That's the reason why the difficulty, the bar is so high in building myofibrillar growth because it's based on injuries. But like I said, if you want to get these phony muscles and pretend and get good at lifting a heavy weight, that's all great too, man. It's all artificial, but if you want to pretend and fake, everybody pretends and fakes in this world anyways, right? They are actors in this world. They're acting. So it's not within nature, it's acting. You're acting in this artificial environment. Their positions, whatever the hell they're doing, they're just actors. All right.
Here's the thing, could we carry the muscle growth over to fat loss? Yeah, it is easier to get leaner when you have more muscle tissue. Okay, hopefully most people realize that. You burn more energy, you have higher insulin sensitivity, all these things. All right, so when we talk about there are hormonal benefits to our body composition from consuming carbohydrates, this is stuff that we need to think about. Now, number one, I think one that most people...
Hey, I don't know what happened here.
People don't. Everyone talks
Sorry about that. I think that thing froze for a second there. All right.
about the role of cortisol. Yes, we get a large cortisol response. Stress is a big deal. We get a large cortisol response from training.
You get a cortisol response from training. Man, you could get cortisol. Cortisol is working all the time in your body, breaking proteins down and rebuilding them. Your body is breaking and rebuilding. Ask yourself this question: why is it doing that? Why is it constantly breaking and rebuilding? What is causing that? Why is it doing that? You have to question everything. It's doing it for a reason, to keep you alive.
And that immediate cortisol does seem to at least be heavily correlated with more muscle growth, but we know that chronically elevated cortisol breaks down muscle tissue. This is one of the problems.
Chronic cortisol, yeah, you're going to the gym lifting, it's going to raise cortisol. So what do? You eat. You eat to suppress the cortisol. If protein synthesis exceeds breakdown in muscle, then that cortisol will be shut off. It'll convert to an androgen, so it doesn't have to compete with the myocytic androgen receptor, making you anabolic, giving you super strength and anabolic. You're in an anabolic growth state. But what type of growth is that? Well, if there's no more cells, there's no more growth.
When we are losing body weight, when we're working on losing body fat.
Look, why do you think people eat a lot of carbs? Again, because they've tried the protein, they're eating shitloads of protein, but they're not building any muscle. They stand on the scale and they're not building muscle because muscle needs to be injured to be grown. If you're not injuring, it's not growing. So what's the point of eating all this protein? And so then they turn to carbs and then they build these carbohydrate muscles. Okay, sarcoplasmic. It's just goofy.
Cortisol tends to go up. Okay. Conversely, that can contribute to muscle.
Okay, so cortisol goes up. So figure out how to suppress cortisol. It's easy. Protein synthesis exceeds breakdown of muscle. That will suppress cortisol. If you can suppress the breakdown in protein, then you can suppress the catabolic hormone, the cortisol. Okay?
Loss if we're not careful. Right? The elevated stress hormones can contribute to muscle protein breakdown hormonally. Now,
there's a window for breakdown when you go to the gym. You're already breaking down more protein that is normally breaking down if you were just walking around. And so what? And so you need to you just are replenishing proteins. You're just putting back the proteins that you've broken down. And so what? And so what?
People start saying, well, no, you need some muscles to break down. Well, no, that's an outdated hypothesis for one. Number two, when it's calorie reduction induced, I can assure
that breaking proteins down isn't causing injuries to muscle fibers so that the progenitor can come out and create new muscle cells, can donate its nuclei. Duh.
you it's not causing you to gain muscle. Okay? We don't gain more muscle because we start losing weight. That's not actually...
You don't gain more muscle because you're losing weight? You don't gain any muscle. It has nothing to do with weight or anything. What are you talking about? the progenitor, it creates muscles. I don't understand this guy. Is he stupid or what?
Directly beneficial. In fact, it's the opposite. And one of the pathways through which
Muscle has a domain size limit. Those cells can't get any bigger. They're not fat cells, okay? Maybe your head is fat, so you think your head can keep growing, but muscle cells can't keep growing. Duh.
that occurs is through elevating cortisol. All right. And you hear that all the time. People will point that out. Oh, yeah, we don't want too much cortisol. Well, what is one of the food, what in terms of...
I just love all this shit. This shit talk about cortisol, eating, this, that. When the main goal always comes back to what? You got to create these muscle injuries. And why aren't you creating them? Because it's unfucking comfortable, okay? Nobody's going to do it out in the fitness industry. And the fitness industry knows this already. They know about the two types of hypertrophy, myofibrillar and sarcoplasmic. One is based on glycogen loading, the pump. It's comfortable, it's nice, it's great, give you these phony muscles, gives you this cosmetic look. Okay, you don't have to go through a pain threshold like myofibrillar growth. Real growth, bodily growth, you have to go through pain. It's a threshold. It's just like this. Microneedling. How many of you want to microneedle your face? Yeah, causing these fucking poking your face with needles and shit and bleeding. Nobody, because it's painful. Who the fuck wants to do that? And so the fibroblast pen burning holes in your face to do what? To wake up the progenitor so that the fibroblast cells wake up and then create more of the collagen in your face, making it youthful. But you have to go through a pain threshold. Think about it. You're going to take this pen, you're going to burn holes through your face with an electric pen, the fibroblast pen. That's crazy. Or these microneedling pens, or microneedling with the roller. It's painful to do that. People don't want to do that, cause all these injuries in your face. Have you seen Brian Johnson microneedling his face? Look at this. Let me see if I could find it. He was even in an interview talking to a guy. His face was completely red, microneedled. There's some pictures there. I don't know. They were showing it there at the top. He was in an interview. His face was all red, talking in an interview to a guy. It was completely microneedled. I don't know where it is right now. There, it looks like this. I'll just show it in this lady because I can't find his right now. Okay. So this is what it looks like. So, do you want to walk around like that? You want to walk around like that all day, like her, with microneedles in your face, bleeding and shit? That's the same thing you need to do to your muscles in order for them to grow. Okay, man? This is crazy. That can last for days. Yeah, man, it can last for days, bro. So think about that for a second, okay? How uncomfortable that is.
Too much cortisol. Well, what is one of the food, what in terms of food intake, out of the different things we can eat, reduces cortisol the most? Carbohydrates.
Carbohydrates lowering cortisol, it's an energy source. Yeah, definitely. It can. It could do that. So can protein. Yeah. I don't know. Can it? Yeah, well, yeah. I guess, yeah. But it's, again, it has some effect on fat as well. It can make you fat. If you overstep, it can make you fat. I don't know. In ectomorphs, maybe possibly not so much as other people that are more susceptible to getting fat. Especially if you get older. It's kind of bad. Your abs are going to be washed out for sure.
Enormous amounts of data displaying this. This is extremely well known in fitness circles and nutrition circles. Increasing your dietary carbohydrate can reduce cortisol. Okay? See where we're going with this? So if we're reducing cortisol, we are sparing muscle protein.
If we reduce cortisol, we are sparing muscle. And what are you sparing it for? You're an endurance athlete. You're endurance lifting. What are you sparing it for? He says you're gonna spare protein. For what? What exactly are you sparing it for? I don't understand this at all, man. Here, let's look at this. Let's see what we're sparing this for. Sparing. Huh? What are you sparing it for? Myonuclear domain size limit. MND size has a ceiling limit during hypertrophic process beyond which extra myonuclei are donated by satellite cell to support further muscle growth. And without them, they synthesize protein. Without them, you can't synthesize protein. So why are you sparing all this protein? For what purpose? To accelerate aging? That domain has ended. It's not moving forward. You as a chronic lifter coming to the gym, it's protected also by the repeated bout effect from getting any more damage. You have to figure out how to injure them, definitely, but it's very uncomfortable, and you haven't figured it out. You need to figure it out. I can only tell you that if that progenitor is not getting injured, it's not donating nuclei, so there's no point in this protein, whatever the fuck he's talking about. It's just going to accelerate aging.
All right, so right off the bat, increasing carbohydrate intake blunts cortisol. Okay.
Why does he think that that's the magic pill that's going to get a fiber to get bigger? They don't get any bigger. They need more cells to get bigger. They're not getting any bigger. You could do all of it. Why do you think your coach is not getting bigger? Why do you think he's so small? Why do you think he's never built any muscle? The only muscle he ever built was probably those newbie gains. And who knows if they didn't fade away already, because look at how tiny he is. This is your coach, tiny coach. Tiny coach. I call him tiny coach.
Well, that's a good start. That's a good start, but it's only the tip of the iceberg, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the tip of the iceberg. It's all the tip of the rave of the iceberg.
All right. This is understood in those circles, but eating really insulinogenic foods in the absence of insulin resistance is not correlated at all with metabolic reward, even using carbon isotope testing. But your muscles, it feeds
This is boring.
the muscles. So this is a good thing. Same thing. The elevated insulin. People's metabolism slows. It's usually due to too low of carbohydrate in their diet. Metabolic machinery there, that's a big deal. And then lastly, which doesn't get addressed enough, testosterone. Not just the mechanism, but why we have developed that. Okay.
He's going to argue about why people care about testosterone, whatever.
What happens is that it lowers SHBG because there's only two ways to increase your
Yeah, sex, globulin, testosterone. That's why you have a fucking shit sex drive, because of all these things that you're doing. These unnatural, artificial diets that you're eating. That is actually the cause of your low sex drive. If you're on a carnivore diet, you'll note on a high-fat animal carbohydrate diet, you'll notice your testosterone is going to be 1200 through the roof. Okay, it's going to go back to normal, because you're made up of these, your cells are made up of cholesterol, okay? And high-fat animal is filled with nutrients, vitamin D, a whole bunch of stuff, okay? It's not just fat, okay, bro? So it fucking increases your natural testosterone. So stop crying that you have low testosterone. Stop eating sugar and your Twinkie cakes and eat some real food, and then you won't have that problem.
insulin. Could it, and therefore the survivability of the growing baby is higher.
What? He's crazy.
Right? To grow and raise a child. Okay.
Whatever. He's talking too much shit. I'll see you in the next one. Tell you to think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel, man. Hormonal benefits of increasing carbohydrates. I'm going to tell you right now. There's truly, you can use it, but it's not a benefit. You don't need it. You need a high-fat animal diet. Okay. See you in the next one. Ciao. Animal fat has much more benefits. This accelerate aging. That's what's going to happen. See you in the next one. Ciao.